Sanaradhanai sisani danai katopulai konarote dihan anyaha kadara amen. Amen amen as it I tell you, I am Peter, the Spirit of truth. Holy Spirit incarnate, I am, whom you call Jesus Christ, Hakadash, and many names you called me, Word made flesh. In the beginning, humans, but I was thin in spirit. My Lord, one of the Lord, made me a promise that if I incarnate, He won't make me go hungry. He will never make me go hungry nor live in a poor thing, for He knew that I'm used to my heavens, I'm used to my heavens. And I can only live with my grandpa. My grandpa who was the spirit of my father in the beginning, in the beginning as Zeus, as he was Zeus, for the king to be called Zeus, as he was to the king, This is the Spirit of God's, that when we incarnate, what we have in the name received by the next generation. But you called in heaven, we don't call it generation, we call it higher, H-E-I-R, a hair. And today something happened that I didn't knew, because my cousin cooked a food that should balance it with vinegar, but she could, because they are poor, she could not balance it with vinegar. For even vinegar, they could not buy, they could not buy. So this has something to do with what I'm going to tell you, and this is about Gismas, who was in the beginning a poor woman, as well as in this end the same thing. Our body is transgressed and swapped, I'd say that her body, I say our because she is mine's. Love, you called heart, So, Matthew 19, on the rich and the kingdom of my Papa. Matthew 19:27. Peter had answered, "We have left everything to follow you. What then will there be for us?" Peter was the spirit of my aunt and the spirit of his brother. So literally, in that body, we are like attached of the fingers. A touch of the finger, which I told you in my record before, that it was like I have I have what you call that, a bruise, like it looks like a bruise on my arms, right in the middle of my arms, my shoulder, my arms, on the top of my arms. Don't know what you call it, but we call it on the top of the arms, right in the middle of it. There is like a point of the finger in it, which is a symbol of when I was Tara Budi, Father pushed me down to offer me to Allah, whom we also call then Buddha. Buddha. We are Tara Buddhi, and he was Buddha. Buddha. My name and his name always in pair. If I was in Buddhi, he was in Buddha. Tara and Taru. That is our real names. Once, those times of the times, for we have no names, whom you called Almighty and the Creator does not have a name, for we are thy makers, So when Peter said to me that they have left everything to follow my Papa, which is I was, he asked what then will be there for us. And there's something to do with what I just said, that I've eaten a food that I'm not supposed to eat because, like I said, when I was younger in this flesh, I helped my aunt to. I helped my aunt with drying fishes, and then today my aunt is doing that to dry fish. And then I went in the house and I said, "Oh, you have food for the pigs?" That's all I said. And then the king didn't know what I've said. And then my aunt was making this fish, little fishes, to preparing these little fishes for food and to dry. And then I've eaten some of it, for I didn't knew that I'm not supposed to eat it because he whom you call Jesus, my body, or in the Christ, because we call the body in the Christ, as I was this. It was to offer to whom you call Yahweh or Jesus. My king, I'd say my king, and it is not king as King, it is king as Qing, for he is me, and like he is me, I'll just say. So when I get into the house, they were preparing food and I didn't know that they were preparing. And then when I am in my aunt's house to just wanting to see them, because I was feel really really like I didn't know that feeling that I was just missing heaven. I was just missing heaven. So I have to go down there to see my aunts, because every time I hugged her, she's like a medicine to me and the little girl. A little girl, an angel. So I hugged my aunt, and then I didn't know that the food was. I say that it was just not enough. Like when they cooked it, they supposed to balance it with the vinegars and all the like ginger for it to be tasty. And because they are poor, they don't have enough to put even whatever into that they're cooking. And the king was so furious because he made a promise that I'm not going to eat anything like of those. I'm not going to eat anything like of those. And then I said, like in my post, I said that he was very, very, like, I just get up, and then I was I could not go back to sleep, and then was thinking, was just speaking to them so deep that don't worry, it wasn't done in purpose. Like I said to him, don't worry, my loves. I said, it wasn't done in purpose. I just need to balance it now in my digestion with the vinegar. So I just take vinegar to balance the taste in my souls, because what I eat now is go straight to my spirits. And then he was like, what like that. So that is why I said that this is something to do with Peter, who asked me that they have left everything to follow me. Like my aunt, like I told you before, that in heaven, they did not let me come down here on my own at the time of our crucifixions and what you call Jesus, for they were to Gismas and Dismas, women in spirit and a man in flesh, to deliver the science. Those times, the science was the three tribes, the three tribes. Three tribes, it's what you call first and the second generation, what you call generations. So when Peter asked me with that, it's something to do with what I eat, with what food I eat, and because the king made the curse that he won't let me eat anything of like this, like stinking food or whatever you call it. And I said to him that don't punish because we didn't know. So because my mother in her souls is grieving. She was grieving, and I was just, what happened to you? And then she said, why did you eat that fish? I said, I didn't know. And then because this is what we do, humans in spirit and in flesh. What we eat in flesh is what comes to. My mom then wasn't I was eating, was told it to her. It's like I already have the taste, and then it took like few hours before they realized in the spirit realm. So, in the court of gods, because that is where I came from today. In the court of gods, they saw me, Matt. What have you been eating, darling? They said, and I said, Dad, I didn't know. So what happened? And then I just eat with the childrens today. And then they said, what they have eaten? And then I said, I've said something to my aunt that, what's that stinking food? And then he said, you should not say that. Your aunt is grieving. Go back and tell your king. And then, so at the court, they were all laughing at me. Humans, we have high court. We have high court, which is called the greatest hall of gods, and the court, it is a hall of called the greatest hall of gods, which is I am governing. And when my father seeing what I've been eating, he always, I never let you eat food like this, like that. So I said, Dad, don't worry. I didn't knew it wasn't enough vinegar, so I maybe just can balance the digestion in eating vinegar. Good job, I have vinegar, so I just had some. And this, I said, when Peter asked me that they have left everything, or when he answered me that they have left everything to follow my papa, and what will there be for them as like they had to live throughout incarnations as I. If I live in the poor family, they too have to live in the rich family. In the rich family, so that they could feed themselves and I could, like, I'm poor and then they have to balance me. But in this end, we are all poor. They are all, I would say not all, because some is okay, but some is struggling really, really bad. So, with that said, I was eating this fish and it was like the taste was like already like out of place, but I said, like, my spirit was crying, and I keep saying that never mind, one day I will make you have everything you never ask for, because what Peter answered me is, when they leave everything, is what they will have in the future as kingdoms. They will have kingdoms like what they have helped me throughout incarnations. Because I do not give my kins who have helped me throughout incarnations little. I give more than you can imagine. It's like this in this flesh. When I saw a kind man help me, or let's say there's a kind woman who helped me but does not know me, in my heart I'd say, when time comes, I will give you everything. I will give you everything, which is my answer to Peter when he said, we have left everything to follow you. What then will there be for us? Then I say, what there'll be for Peter and all the brothers and sisters in those generations will have kingdom come. For I am Ma'at, who give everything to my people. As love of my Father, I ask whatever I ask and give the men what they want. For throughout incarnations, even to this very end, these people are still there for me, helping me in one way to another, especially Gismas and Dismas, who was with me throughout incarnations. Since heaven until to earth, they have had their share of poverty, and usually we choose to live in poverty so that in the kingdom we can balance what we are. Kings and queens is what they will be in the new kingdom come, as it is what they were before time. The kingdom that they will have, the earth that they're going to possess is the body of the Christ. The temple where we are now is the body of the Christ chosen for the people of God, who was with me throughout incarnations from heaven to earth, did not let me go down on my own, as they knew I cannot cook, and they cannot bear to look at me from up above, down here, suffering on my own. For in heaven my aunts are my cook, that whenever I need food, they're there to give me what I want. As they knew I cannot eat, as it was in heaven, time to time, my mood changes. When I want food, fish of this day, that is what is being served in the table. Usually, I eat bread. My father ate fish. My mother ate prawns. My king ate meat. And I eat, depending on the occasions. Which is, they have to change me, for I never drink in heaven nor in the earth. They have to let me learn to drink so that at the banquet I cannot what you call KJ, for I can drink at least a little in this end. So, when they left everything they have in heaven to follow me to earth, as to become poor, as Peter also said, they have left everything. What there will be is kingdom come that they never had on earth. Throughout incarnations until to this very end, those who's been with me throughout incarnations will not be punished. Instead, I will give you what you want. Stand firm and hold on to the love you have for me in the first. For that is what you will get. The heavens you will possess, the body you are on that will be transformed into what you really are. And with that, after the judgment day, you will be given what you have, as I promised, kingdoms and love of the tribes that was with us throughout incarnations. For without love, we cannot live in the kingdom, no matter what we have, if there's no one to love us. Hidana laray gunara, kunho sa Jesus gunara, amen. I am whom thy call Jesus Christ, the Holy Spirit incarnate, the Spirit of truth at John 13:16, or you call that 16:13, as I am, the true Spirit of the Bible, who was living in it to guide humans until it was messed up with their own very hands, which is filthy, without gloves, and touching their dicks.